Rob, I understand that this year's race is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, it's the 10th year of the Gallagher Great Race, so what we're trying to do and will do is a 3-boat race instead of the traditional 2. We've got Melbourne University and Cambridge University for the men, and then Melbourne and Sydney women for the women's race. The difference is the start's going to be pretty full on, we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's actually this is going to be a key strategic part of the race. 3 boats coming through this bridge, and we're going to tell them to separate. The first boat through will be coming up the centre lane here. We're told you have to go in the centre of the river, or at least out from either bank. The second boat through will be told to go to the east bank, which is the second fastest part of the river. And the last boat through the bridge will be given the opportunity to go to the west bank, which will be potentially the fastest part of the river. And in doing that, it allows the situation where potentially we're going to have a blanket finish, and that creates all sorts of strategic decision making. I mean, do you want to be the first boat through the bridge? Because you're going to then have to spend the last 1,000 metres of the race in this last lane. So the opposite of that is, do you want to be the last through the bridge? Meaning you have to follow all the boats up the river for the 4 kilometres to then have that opportunity to be the fastest boat in that last 1,000 metres. And I don't know the answer to that, and the crews are going to be strategising for the whole week that they're here, trying to work out, do we want to be first, second or third through this bridge.
So Rob, where exactly is the start of the race?
There's a cabbage tree just up there, about 100 metres, so that's generally signals the start of the race. For this year, because of the 3-boat format, we're going to make the decision of the final position, probably not until the day before, maybe even the morning of the race. It's very much depending on the height of the river, how much current flow there is. The race is into the Stritton, so that creates a whole tactical, strategic decision-making process for the crews in itself. But this year, the start is the absolute critical point of the race. The crews will have already selected their starting positions, their lanes, through the indoor rowing race, which has a fair bit on that.
Would you say that the coxswains are a critical part of the start?
Yes, not in the actual starting, in the line of the race. The umpires are critical, I suppose, that making sure the umpire gets the crews into their allotted lanes. But yeah, obviously after start gun fires, the coxswains are going to play a massive role in making sure that there's no contact between each other, between each crew, and carnage erupting, which would be a bad thing. From a spectator's point of view, it'd probably be a good thing, but from a racing point, we want these crews to get off cleanly. And the first corner is a right-hander, and one of the crews will probably cross over early, and the other 2 may stay on the western bank and then cross over. When they come back into contact again after the first corner, I see that as ultimately the critical point of the whole race potentially, and how they come back into line and whether they form cleanly up the river, because we envisage that all 3 will be basically 1, 2, 3 behind each other for a period of the race up until they really have to separate again at that final bridge.
Rob, what can you tell us about the recent sightings of the crocodiles?
Crocodiles, have you heard of it? Do you know the Taniwha crocodile, the rampant Waikato River crocodile? I've not seen it myself, but I have nightmares about it. I prefer not to talk about it actually.